All right, all right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world. Welcome one, welcome all to another episode of EduSteps, powered by Laddering Your Success. As always, I'm your good friend, Olay Shorunke, here with my other good friend, Festus Samoye. How you doing? Well, I'm Olay with my good friend, Festus. How you doing today, Festus?
Good. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, as Mr. Rogers used to say. You know, it's just a beautiful day in Houston, really. Good weather. We got rid of all that heat and drought, and now we get a little bit of rain and cool weather. So it's lovely.
As the kids like to say, we got somebody that has sweater weather. That's sweater weather.
100%.
Man, as always, we have the good doctor. They say apple a day keeps the doctor away. Got my good friend, Jamark Crawford. How you doing today, Jamark?
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm happy to be here.
Awesome, man. Doing good. We also have a old friend of the show coming back to drop in with us. A friend across the Atlantic. Franklin. I want to make sure I get your name. If I'm not mistaken, Nuobe.
Yeah, exactly.
All righty, brother. How you doing today, man?
I'm all right. Happy to be back again.
Yeah, man. It's crazy. I'm not gonna say it was just like yesterday, but I do remember, man. You came on for a couple of our mentor calls, and you had a wonderful passion and talents that you were trying to figure out how to use and to utilize to help further yourself along in this path and this journey, man. So just tell us how's everything been? How's everything been going with you?
All right. Everything has been going well, and I think I have a good news. And I've graduated from college, and I made some excellent grades. And yeah, it's part of the process, and I'm very happy to tell you guys that mentorship had a huge impact on me. And even in the volunteer works that you guys told me to make use of, I went deep into it, and I got lots of certificates in volunteering while I graduated. So my induction is coming up soon. Like it's like graduation, where they give us a license to practice. So it's coming up soon, and that's what I'm waiting for now. But currently, I'm just doing some other volunteer works, and I'm really happy. I feel fulfilled meeting you guys, and I'm very happy about it. So I'm just done with college, and that's just the latest. Thank you.
Go ahead, Festus. I see you brimming with joy there, man.
This is what it's about. You know what I'm talking about? That's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Man, I love it. Bro, it's the beautiful thing is, you get started and oftentimes you get sidetracked, or some people will say, hey, you're doing this, you're doing that, you might be doing too much. And to just hear this kind of report from Franklin, that's validation to me. You know what I mean? It's validation, that somebody could start out, just having a hard time in life. Get that being, knowing, doing, get that perspective in order, and just build their network, graduate, and be able to impact the community. So, Franklin, I'm honored to have been a part of your journey, bro. And still, we're gonna be here. So, so thank you. Olay, please, go ahead, man, because I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, man. I mean, just the same. Just to be able to it's funny because me and Festus always talk about, the process and how there's ups and downs to everything. And it just seems that as at certain points in time, when you're in a down and you don't realize what's going on, that you'll have a Franklin come in and say, oh man, coming on and just to say, thank you for what you did. It doesn't even click in my mind that, you know, how powerful it is. You know how when someone says this person lives in my head rent free, or this video lives in my head rent free, for someone to have us live in their head rent free, and the good feelings that come with the mentorship and the ability to find your purpose and work in your purpose, and then to come back, it's like the fulfillment of the LYS, of the Be No Do process. So, you know, it's just another reminder or example of how real it is, and it's a little bit more. It's you know, it's different than your regular run-of-the-mill program that you have at your school or whatever. Not to say that there's, you know, anything wrong with those. They're all great, right? Because we all want our young people to succeed. But there's just something about this holistic thing that we've created where it becomes almost bigger than yourself, and you see that, you know, in self-discovery and personal development, things like that. So just so happy and so proud of you, Franklin. I know this is just the beginning, because you had that LYS background, you've got that foundation. So just so happy for you, man. Just so happy for you. You wanna introduce? Can we introduce Moyne Festus?
Yeah. So before we do that, I want to see if Crawford had anything to say.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Nah, just that I'm happy and proud of Franklin, man. That's what's up. That's an accomplishment. So, man, that's all I got to say right now.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And so with that, I'll go ahead and introduce Moyne. Moyne, just let me kind of give you a little bit of background of where we're at and what we're talking about today. We had a topic, but Franklin joined us today, so we're gonna put that on pause until until the appropriate time. But Franklin shared some good news with us. He's out in Nigeria actually, and he got on the show. I don't even remember when it was. Maybe like a year ago or 6 months ago or 8 months ago, something like that. And he was just going through some personal things and just not really feeling fulfilled, not really feeling like he had purpose. But again, just by the grace of God and what we've been able to share with him, he just came and gave us a report that he's about to graduate. And so with that, we want to introduce you, Moyne. I'm going to tell people a little bit about you. That's cool. So Moyne hails from good old Southwest LYS, Texas. SWAT all day. You know what I'm talking about? What? One second. And so we ran into her at a volunteer event called LYS Votes, and then we seen each other yesterday at LYS Proud. So shout out to LYS.
That was a fun event.
Yeah, most def fun event. Good to see the community out. And so anyway, she is a junior, if I remember correct.
I'm a senior.
Senior. And so as a senior, you know, we're here for the seniors to just talk about college, scholarships, all those different types of things. And so
Festus, real quick, but I want you to continue. I feel like Kanye. I'm gonna let you finish, but there's one thing I wanted to drop that was really the one thing I remember from our conversation when you were talking with Moyne, and that was Moyne was set on leaving the area. If I remember correctly, she was kind of like, I don't know where I'm going, but it ain't gonna be here. And Festus was like, why? You know, he's like that pastor. Why? You know, so I just remember that, and I thought that was really, really funny. That's kind of how we were.
So absolutely, most def. So Moyne, if you want to just kind of fill us in, talk to us about what your college plans look like, and if you have any questions, we're gonna try to help you out. We're gonna do our best to try to help you out. So go ahead. We're listening.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction. So yeah, I'm a senior at LYS Taylor, and right now my college decision is just anti-Houston, I guess. if I do end up staying in Texas, I want to go to UT Austin and probably end up at McCombs School of Business because I've done a couple programs over there at McCombs. And then other than that, everything else is outside of Texas. And I'm just gonna say my top five just to give a little idea or whatever. So I have UT, that's only if I stay in Texas, then Vanderbilt, Wash U in St. Louis, USC, University of Southern California, Howard, and then North Carolina A&T. Yeah, so Olay and Festus really emphasize that you don't have to leave to be successful, and that the reasons I want to leave are relatable. And so just kind of some guidance on me being able to stay in Houston and, still be able to do everything that I want to do and still, I guess, steer away from what I'm trying to get away from, if that makes sense. So yeah, just looking for some guidance in that aspect.
100%, 100%. So, Olay, you want to kick off or should I?
I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah.
Because you have I guess we can call me the great value sauce. You kind of have the Salt Lick high quality sauce. What major did you want to major in?
I want to do
business.
Yeah, I want to do business that like combines with tech, right? Because for A-Leaf we have high school endorsements and mine is computer science, but it made me realize I don't want to do straight computer science because I'm just too passionate to be behind the screen all day, if that makes sense. And then I want to minor in political science or whatever the equivalent major is at whatever school.
And what did you want to do when you got out? Do you have an idea what you want to do when you get out?
Honestly, I'm not exactly sure because I'm trying to, I guess, treat college as a journey, like self-revelation, whatever, the internships and all that, learn a lot about myself and about the real world and working environment. But I do know that I'm really passionate about education and like education equity, education reform. So with the political science aspect, I don't know if I'm gonna end up in law or policy or what, but yeah.
Okay. So I know Festus is going to go deeper into this, but the first thing that you have to ask yourself is essentially is who am I? What is my purpose? So when we look at the be, know, do, right? The B portion of be, know, do is what are your values? What are your principles? What are those things that you hold dear to your heart? What are those non-negotiables, right? When you think about the know, that is, what are my resources and how do I get access to them? And when you think about the do, how am I completing these tasks? How am I doing things? How do I execute with excellence? All right. So I just want you to keep that in mind as we go on. I know Festus is going to go deep into that. Just from me listening, it sounds like you do want to have a really good understanding of systems and how things are built. I'm looking at your schools right now. There's one in particular that makes sense. I'm not going to say it. There's one that makes sense as far as going and really finding your space and honing your craft, if you will. But I will say that before you go, it's really good to have a general understanding of a general path of where you want to go. And you do, right? You want to do something in business, something in tech, and possibly law, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That is correct, yes.
Right. So the question is, how do we get a deeper foundational understanding of ourselves to put ourselves in a position for something that's going to be worthwhile our time? And the crazy thing is I think there are degree plans that basically have a lot of those things combined in them. And yeah, so Festus, I'm gonna throw it to you. I want you to go ahead and you can kind of work from there.
Okay. So hopefully this will be visible when I share my screen. I don't think it's that visible. We'll see. Can you see that or no? Not
Yes,
too
I
much.
can see it. A triple Venn diagram.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So if you can, you might want to get your notes ready, your pad and whatever, to take notes. You're still seeing my screen or no? Is it still
Yes, now it says educate.
okay.
Okay, it's back
Okay,
there.
there you go. There you go. Okay, so my screen's a little bit jumpy. So okay, so we're gonna start off with being, then we're gonna talk knowing and doing, and Olay was kind of going over this, right? So with LYS, we teach the three kind of essential pieces of your being is your character, your values, and your principles. Your character, your values, and your principles. And so a way of looking at that is saying not character in the moral sense of character, right? But more of character in the sense of what drives you, what wakes you up, what motivates you to do the things that you do, right? So think about like a cartoon, right? Cartoons are called characters for a reason because they have an animating force that brings them to life. And so if you think about like Winnie the Pooh, right? There's certain aspects that make Winnie the Pooh not Mickey the Mouse or Mickey the Mouse. It's not Mickey Mouse, right? The Mickey the Mouse. But anyway, so there's certain aspects that make Winnie the Pooh different from Mickey Mouse, right? And the same thing with us, right? There are deep internal desires that drive us. And we're going to talk about resilience a little bit later, I think. And so sometimes what ends up happening, especially for first gen students or people who have gone through like a lot of hardship, what happens is we take on the hardship as our initial character. So for example, and I'll just kind of use myself an example, I had beef with my dad, right? For whatever reason. And I thought my dad wasn't being a good enough dad. I think a lot of anybody could kind of resonate with that. Like my dad not being a good enough dad. He could have been a better dad to me. He could have done better for our family, whatnot. And so this actually drove me and actually was an essential element of my character because my whole mindset was like, I'm just not going to be like him. And so rather than actually discovering who I was, right, which there are aspects of me that are coming directly from him, I fought against even myself, not wanting to know pieces of who I am because I just didn't want to be like him, right? And this becomes an error in some ways, in a lot of ways, but I don't have time to discuss them all, right? So character is the first piece of being. Next, it's values. So what are the things that we cherish? What are the things that we admire, right? These are the things that we value. And what weight do we place on those things, right? So let's say, for example, if you really like cookies. So if you really like cookies, everybody sells different cookies, right? But there's a place called Crumble Cookie, and these are supposed to be really, really good. I'm not giving a shout out to Crumble. They're not a sponsor of the show. If they want to be a sponsor, they do, but I'm just using them for the sake of example. No, I'm joking, but I'm serious, but I'm joking. But so anyway, so Crumble Cookie, and somebody said, "Oh, this is the best cookie in the world," and then somebody will look at the price of one of those Crumble cookies and say it's not worth it. Why would they say that? It's because they don't value it the same as the other person who will spend the $5, $6, $7, $8 for a cookie, whatever, right? Like me, there's some HEB cookies that had chocolate chip and some nuts, right? It's just like these delicious cookies, and it's like $5 for the pack of cookies. As you can tell, I'm a big boy.
Have
Right?
you had those Hatch chili lime jalapeno cookies with the cream?
No.
Those things are amazing. I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe I have to check it out. Like, is it Hatch chili lime cookies? Okay,
Bro, they lit.
Okay. So yeah, so they're $5. So somebody will look at that $5 and say, "Look, man, there's only 5 cookies in there or 4 cookies in there, and they're $5. I would never get those cookies, right?" They value those cookies differently than I would because there's somebody else who says, "Hey, look, man, there's Oreos over here for $3, whatever." right? So this is what we value. And so when you're going to college, you got to think about the same thing. Somebody's looking and they're saying, listen, Vanderbilt, might be $50,000, $60,000 a year. Why go to Vanderbilt? Well, the question is, do you value what you're getting there? You see what I'm saying? Trying to make this really relatable in terms of college. And so because of that, right? And last one, I'll drop on principles next. But because of what we value, we should not always just look at college as who's giving me the most scholarship money, right? Nor should we just look at it as I'm going because my friends are going, right? Because your friends might not value the same things that you value, right? And also from the scholarship money perspective, a school might give you good scholarship money, but might not have the things that you're looking for. So you're going to have to kind of do some moving sometimes to put these pieces into play. And you're going to kind of see this later as we actually start taking a dive into some of the actual colleges, right? So last thing is principles. Okay, principles. So what principles do you stand on? You know what I mean? As Mike Tyson put it, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? And think about it this way: is what are you willing to stand on to a point where it's like, we gonna box over this? I know you from the SWAT, so you probably done gotten a couple of squabbles. You know what I'm saying? A couple of squabbles.
I am so nonviolent.
But if somebody pushed you,
then I'm on the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's certain things that it's like I got to match that energy, right?
Can we talk about the fact that that is the most SWAT thing to say? I am nonviolent, but if somebody comes, they gonna have to feel me though. You're gonna have to catch these hands though.
100%. So now that we have being, we talked about being, let's talk about knowing. So knowing is pretty simple, and that is what resources are available and how to use them, right? What resources are available and how to use them. So for example, our show is considered a resource for people who call in because they're able to say, hey, look, I got this question. Let me get this question asked, right? There's resources on campus, right? Whether it's a high school campus or your college campus. And so, whether it's, the counselors at school, different types of things like that, you need to know that the resource is there, but you also need to know how to use the resource. What is the actual function of the resource? And so, for example, a lot of times on high school campuses, really the counselors function as helping you select your classes, not as actual counselors for problems and solving issues, and it's not anything against the counselors. It's just how the system is set up. So do you know your counselor's name on campus?
Yeah. Wait, can I say his name or is that bad?
Let's not say the name, but now let's say the person, right?
Yes.
How much time do you spend with the person?
Recently, more time than before. And it was something that I did bring up, how you mentioned it's more so schedule changing and picking your classes rather than actual student support. And it ended up getting to the superintendent. And now we have a on-campus like mental health type of counselor at Taylor, Hastings, and 060. Yeah. But with the original counselor, I do spend more time with him due to the fact that, I need letters of rec, and you've been my counselor for 4 years. I need my grades, my transcripts, all of that. So yeah.
And see, the thing is that, and it's good that the district became responsive in that way, right? Because sometimes when we have emotional struggles, we have mental struggles, it's hard for us to focus on our academics, right? And what we're trying to do there. And so what ends up happening is, and I'm glad you used that resource, right? That's there. And so but because they don't focus on like the big picture of like, hey, what is the journey you're trying to take, and understanding that journey, sometimes it ends up becoming like piecemeal advice, right? Just like, hey, this'll do for now, just take those classes and show up. You know what I mean? Rather than like, yo, if this is if you want to be in the future, this is the vision you have for your life, right? then these are some steps you could do to get there. So that's the knowing component, right? So lastly, let's talk about the doing component. The doing is having a plan, having a process, and executing the plan and process with excellence. So having a plan, having a process, and executing the plan and process with excellence. So again, if you don't have a plan, you're going to wander, right? It's funny because when you go to a store, all the, whatever you buy, pretty much, except if you buy like produce or vegetables, has directions on it for how to cook it, right? And when it comes to life, it's like there's not really this plan. You know what I mean? There's not really, these are the step-by-step directions. And so what ends up happening is we end up doing what the other person's doing next to us because, like, man, they doing it. They seem all right. You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, it's like, dang, how did I get here? Well, you got where you are following somebody else because, you just follow them instead of really thinking through, like, okay, what am I going to stand on as an individual? So I'm not saying that's the case for you, but that's the case for a lot of people. And so we're going to kind of talk about how this being, knowing, doing works, right? So based off of your being, so your character, values, and principles, and your knowing, that's where you develop relationships. Okay? Based off your being and your knowing, that's where you develop relationships. So if you know you want to study business, if you know you want to study some computer science, you start building relationships based off of that. And so right now, for example, you said you took computer science at school because they try to, focus on things in school. And it was good that you said, hey, like, I don't really want to be behind a computer screen all the time. Now, the thing is, your current relationships are primarily based off of that experience. So you probably know more people who are doing computer stuff than you do who are doing, education stuff or something like that, because you spend a lot of time with those people based off of what you do primarily. You see what I'm saying? Oh, this
Yeah.
is just aggravating. So now let's combine the knowing and the doing. So this is where we develop our academia and skills, right? So if you know how to do something, so for example, like you said, you went to UT, did some programs there, and because you did that, right, it sharpens some sense of academia and sharpens some sense of skill, whether it's, you went there and maybe did some debate, or maybe you went and got introduced to different people, and then it caused you to study more on that topic that you guys went over, whatever it was. And so it further developed your academia and skills, right? And so finally, let's talk about being and doing. Being and doing, between those two things, our character, our values, our principles. Doing, our plan, process, and execution. That's where you develop your passion and your purpose, right? So when we have being, knowing, doing, we have relationships, we have academia and skills, we have passion and purpose, we could actually develop our personal success story, our personal success narrative. Does this track? Is this helping you?
I took some notes on like the specific things that came with each thing. So being, knowing, and doing. But like personal success is the central, the big middle, like the big focus, right? Oh, your thing disappeared. Hold on.
Okay, you still need to see it. Sorry.
Okay, being. Okay, got it. Got it. All right, got it. Got it.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And the reason why I wanted to close that down was because now we're gonna take this information and move it over into actually selecting a college choice. So Olay, my screen is tripping. So if you could share your screen, can you do me a favor? Pull up USC, UT, and Howard. We'll use those three. We'll use those three. And so we'll use these as examples. So based off of what we discussed, what are probably some key elements about your being that you say, this might resonate with my being, or this might be part of my character, values, or principle?
Okay, so for being, I wrote down, who are you? What are they offering you as a human in your future career outside of scholarship money for actual attendance? And what are you down to fight about? So for one, I'm really big on like culture. I'm a Nigerian American, first gen, all of that. And I grew up in SWAT. So all I see is people that look like me and then Latinx people. So that's one thing. Another thing is mental health. Like I said, we took it to the district with all the stuff with the counselors because, it's really important to me. And students literally off themselves because of just emotions and being overwhelmed with school and personal stuff and goals and just a lot going on. I'd say those are the main two right now.
Okay, so you value culture,
Yeah.
and then also go ahead. You say something.
I said yes.
Okay, and the first one again, just reiterating the first part real quick. You said mental health, right? So culture, and mental health. So those are two things that you value, and so let's look at the schools to see if they resonate with those values to help you discover who you are. So whenever you go on a website, Olay, any one of the sites, you want to go to their about page. There's probably going to be, now it's probably going to be Life at USC. Try that one. That link. Oh, okay. Can you scroll up? No. What's it saying there? Yeah, they website kind of janky for all that money. You know? So no, okay. So no, maybe not there. We Are USC. Try that one. We Are USC. Okay, so let's see. So let's look at, yep, there you go. Values. So a real simple thing that you can start to do, right, is you go on a website, and if you understand your values, you did a little bit of values work, you can just quickly scroll through their values. And it says USC embarked on an audacious journey to uncover the values that united the campus community following a university-wide engagement university-wide engagement effort where so many students, faculty provided feedback. There's 6 unifying values that emerge as hallmarks of the Trojan family. By exploring our shared values together, right, the Trojans are forging an ideal path for the future of USC. So long story short, if we evaluate what they're saying here, is they recently looked at what are the current values of the people to look at what the future values are going to be of the school. And so Olay, you want to try scrolling down? Okay, what are those 6 values? Oh, did we miss it? I think it's right there. Is it? Let me see. No, that doesn't look like it. I mean, that is technically a value statement that they made. Is they're going to act with integrity to the pursuit of excellence, embrace diversity. That's something you also said you value. Equity, that's something you said you value. And inclusion, to promote well-being, that's something you said you value, right? And so I would say, and then engage in open communication, be accountable for living our values. To me, that's not a pointed, these are the 6 things that we value, but I think that there's enough there that you could say for 50-50, you could kind of say, hey, look, I agree with these values. So now if you say, I agree with those values, you could say, okay, I could see myself going here. And then you could look at the actual majors next. Okay, so Olay, you want to take a look at the majors? And if we're going too fast, okay, there goes the integrity, excellence. Okay, there go the actual values. So, and then Olay, if you could drop this in the chat so that way Moni could copy the link and yeah, she could copy the link and then take a look at this later. And then go, if you could switch over to the majors. Academics, yeah, perfect. And then you could look at yeah, yep, programs. Really, yeah, major. Yeah, there you go. So, so the first aspect we looked at our being. We compared that to the university, and we're looking at the majors and minors to say, do they even have what I'm looking to get into? So that's the next thing, right? Because if we share values, now do you have what I'm looking for regarding where I'm trying to go in life? And so, Olay, you could just kind of quickly scroll through to look for business, communication, not communication, computer. So maybe I would just type in a search computer, maybe.
Just computer.
Yeah, because she said computer science, but also she said political science and business. And so what I would want to look at is, okay, so there you go. You got electrical, computer engineering, you got computer science, artificial intelligence. That's a master's degree, so that wouldn't quite count. Computer science games, computer scientist, science, and there's a master's degrees. Okay, so let's look at business then. You want to type in business, see what comes up. So this is masters. So
Real
yeah,
quick,
go
can I
ahead.
change the degree to maybe like a BBA?
Yeah, so up top, I think they have bachelor's of arts and then bachelor of science.
Okay, one of those two.
And then yeah, but you could scroll down to see if they had something else in terms of yeah, because everything else is bad. And then maybe hit minor. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, there we go. Business technology fusion minor.
That low-key sounds perfect. Hold on.
So, Olay, will you click on that one? Let's
Sure, look down arrow. Yeah.
The Marshall School of Business. Okay, but this is a minor. So then that means, okay, the minor in business, so all schools apart except for business. See, this is the minor in business technology is for everybody except for business majors. So this minor, 20 units to complete. So if you were to do this, what I would recommend is probably look at that computer science major and then take a look at this business technology minor, right? To be able to combine that together. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So again, now and I know we're kind of going deep here, but I want to kind of take a moment and step back because we're talking about a lot of things. Let me give you a moment, so in case you have any notes to write, and then we'll do a little bit of reflection before we continue.
I'm typing my notes, so I'm good. I'm updated. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Anyone else? Franklin, you got anything? Questions, thoughts? Or you like, man, I'm graduating, I'm good.
I'm outie.
I'm just listening, you know. It's interesting what you're doing.
Okay. So, okay, perfect. So
I'm just kind of scrolling through because of what she mentioned. And so I'm just gonna hold on. There are a lot of schools are doing a lot of really unique things, because what happens is, as there are shifts and changes in careers and workplace and needs of societies, colleges and even high schools sometimes change curriculum, change programs to kind of meet the need, right? This is one of the things Festus told me early on, to meet the need of what businesses are forecasting to be a major need in the future, as far as like a need for employees. So I'll just give you a quick example. You go down here, I mean, there's at least 9 different search results, you know what I mean, of different of different things to look into. Not to say that they're all going to fit your need, but you know, it is niche, but a lot of schools have a lot of different ways for you to achieve exactly what you're looking for. And so that's the benefit of an LYS. That's the benefit of having, you know, something like this, to be able to take a look and see, you know, just everything that's out there. Because every time we do this, this is not, I mean, I think we've done this at least, maybe at least almost 10 times now, where we've gone through with the student and we've just gone through, and I'm just like, it's, you learn something new every time you get out there. You're pretty on top of it. I wouldn't be surprised if you've already done this, but I hope you just kind of see the benefit of going deep and just thinking about, you know, what's going to be out there when you do leave school.
For sure.
Yeah. Did you want to keep looking? Festus, was there something else you wanted to?
So yeah, now I was gonna kind of segue into the financial aspects of education.
Cool. Did you
So
want to come up here? Still USC, or did you want to do?
I would look. Yeah, we could look at you. We'll start with USC. And unfortunately, because of time's sake, we're gonna do hit that financial aid real quick for me.
Financial aid.
Yeah. And of course, you know, more, you're gonna have to look at the different admissions requirements for each of them, right? But we'll take a look at this real quick, okay? Scroll down some more. Scroll down some more. Let's look to see where they talk about scholarships. Graduates, do they have a scholarships tab?
Wouldn't be surprised if they had. I can't remember. I think it was La Tech. We were looking with someone, and they had they had like a whole nother website dedicated for that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Okay, boom.
Scholarships.
So,
all right.
Now, based off the information you got, okay, go scroll down small way. You're gonna come to the scholarships tab, okay, and then okay, you're gonna look here at specific USC scholarships, right? So the first thing with all scholarships is you want to do your FAFSA, right? So you got to get that done as soon as possible, right? So basically, as soon as probably February, March hit, taxes are done, get your FAFSA in, okay? And you could just put down each of these schools as you know, potential schools on your FAFSA. But then you also want to look at the schools, because FAFSA is probably going to cover like Pell Grant and it's going to demonstrate need. But then you want to look at the actual schools for what the school offers in terms of scholarship, because what happens is you got all of these alumni, and usually the alumni are the ones who donate money, because the alumni work at different businesses, different types of things like that. And then the school leverages the alumni. They come out and say, hey, look, you know, such and such went here, you know, USC, you know, you think Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, just, you know, because of football, right? but so many other actors. I know a lot of people going to USU are like actors too.
Well,
Actors.
also got to remember, like, something that's relatable. LeBron James' son goes there, right? So that's going to be a huge.
And Obama's daughter went there
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah, so those are all reasons why attention's going to be focused there, because trust me, there's somebody who says, I would love to meet LeBron James. Well, how much do I got to donate to the school for the school to make a call to, you see what I'm saying? And so that's how that works. So now, Olay, can you click on business?
I sure can.
Okay. So when you look here, scroll. Okay. Oh, right there. They have their, scroll back up.
Oh, sorry.
So they have their continuing student scholarship applications closed. Please check back February 2024, right, regarding the 2024-2025 scholarship. So now that looks more like for students who've already been accepted and who are already on campus, right? However, you just take note of that date. That's something you want to kind of mark out. Is like, okay, basically every year, every February, March, that's when their scholarship stuff opens, right? But the interesting thing is,
You see that right there? That scholarship universe.
Yeah, I want to go to that page, but I also want to just look here because, I don't want to get too off. But one of the things you want to look at is you want to look at the total tuition and then subtract the amount of aid you're probably going to get over the 4 years, right? Or 5 or 6 years. And what do I mean by that? Is that a lot of people, when they're going to school, they say, oh, I want to go to this particular college. And as me going to this particular college, I'm just going to get in and go. When in reality, you could say, I want to go to this particular college. Are there any scholarships or anything I could do to lower my costs before I even get there? So, for example, dual enrollments are a big one. Coming in as a transfer student instead of as a normal student, a normal undergrad student. So let's say, for example, if you did dual enrollment, picking up some of that college credit, taking more college credit before you go there. That's another way of doing it, because it also puts you in a slightly different criteria, but that's a whole nother thing I don't want to get into, just don't have enough time for. But then what you want to do is you want to look at what majors are getting scholarships, right? So they have this list here of who's on deck for reoccurring scholarships. So if you scroll down a little bit, Olay, we should business. So we don't see a lot of business and tech, right? So we don't see a lot of business and tech from the business side. So then you'd want to look at it from the computer science side and to see what scholarships they might have available from the computer science side. So go ahead and go to the scholarship universe, Olay.
And we noticed this is the thing that a lot of schools do, Festus, right? Like they have a complete other website thing for scholarships.
Yeah, now that's where a lot of them are going. So this, you need to log in to see what they're really offering. And so for that, I would say you can do a few things. One, you could just email the school and say, hey, look, I'm an undergrad student thinking about going there. I would like to know more about Scholarship Universe and to see if there's any way I could assess what scholarships that you offer, right? That would probably be the quickest, easiest way, right? And that their response will be very telling about how they approach undergrad students, right?
Right.
To be honest, some of them just be like, just come and you'll find out. Nah, player. You know what I'm saying? Nah, player. It ain't going down like that. I need to know before I come. You know what I'm saying? So
for sure.
Anyway.
Sure. That's how they used to do it back in the 2000, man. For
so,
sure.
Killing us. And that's why we have so much student loan debt, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'll kind of close out, and then that way we can just, again, take questions, comments, concerns. But basically, you want to repeat this kind of process, and this will be up on YouTube. So you could always go to our YouTube channel. I would highly encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube, and also share it with others, because there's other students who need to hear this kind of stuff. So
Most definitely. Definitely.
so yeah, so I'll close out with that. But you want to kind of repeat this little process with each school. And unfortunately, we just we only do this for an hour. So how does Howard look? How does UT look? How does Vanderbilt look, right? And who gives me the strongest match, right? And where I feel the strongest match is, again, for me, I'm a person of prayer. So, and then you just pray about it. Okay, Lord, which one of these three, or which one of these two, or, that give me the strongest match? Like, where are you leading me? And because you're kind of starting this in October, you'll have kind of plenty of time to decide. You could, again, apply to, multiple schools based off where you get in. And then you could kind of look at it more based off of, who you are as a person, who is the person you want to become, right? Because, again, we're not fulfilled yet, but as you're going there, it'll help you out. So with that, I'll kind of shut my mouth. I talked for a long time, and you guys can ask any questions.
Yeah, I do have a question. So earlier in the session, you said there was one that you felt kind of matched with me more than the rest. You want to throw that out there now, or
No,
no?
I don't want to, because I want you to stay in Texas.
Okay, so it's not in Texas.
No, it's not. No, I'll tell you. It looked like I thought you were pulling strong towards Howard.
Okay.
I thought you were pulling strong towards Howard, because if you look from a historical standpoint, a lot of the things that you mentioned, just the network, what's out there. I think it's, if I was really good in school and I was like you, these new age kids, because this new age, y'all are just amazing. It would be a place I would really, really want to go to. Just from a historical standpoint, the location, as much as now as I'm older, as I'm like, I don't want y'all to leave. I do understand the importance and the beauty of a change in scenery and exposing yourself to new avenues, to new people, to new cultures, to new experiences. And so that's why that's why I mentioned that. And Festus is a wonderful resource, as is with so many things, but in particular with with that, with the DC area and stuff like that. But yeah, Howard was the place I was thinking about. Was I close?
Nah, I don't really have like
A set. It's good.
Yeah, so they're kind of all equal in a sense right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Howard being at HBCU is definitely another thing as well. All the teachers at Taylor are kind of they're almost anti-PWI, I'm not even gonna lie. Everyone's like PV, and I'm like, no, TSU, TSU.
I think it's just like what Festus said. Pray about it. Talk to those that are close to you that kind of don't really, who are going to give you a fair assessment of the
Right.
situation. And just like he said, you got to go in there. If you pay attention, that's one of the biggest things I've learned as an adult is a lot of times people will tell you everything there is to know about them just by looking at, the facts, right? And so we just did it with SC. You go out there, you see what they talk about. Now, the hard thing is a lot of places say this, but when you get there, are they really talking about, are their actions matching what they're saying? Right. And those are just the things you got to look at. But I really hope you enjoyed what we were able to do in this little time. I hope you come back because every time we come and young people come in and we go over these things, like just so many things come up and come out. And if you have any friends that are interested or maybe don't want to go to college or maybe have no idea, because that was me, senior year, all my friends, you know, I'm going to this school. You mentioned Washington and St. Louis, right? Washington
Yes.
University in St. Louis. I used to
Yes.
get letters from them, and I was like, man, it's a pretty small school. And I remember every time, you know, I go to the counselor and I look at my rank, and I was off. My rank was horrible. I think we had like 800 something students, and I was like, gosh, like 6, 7. I was so low. I was just such a lazy kid. And I remember one day my dad came, and my dad was like, well, November is, yeah, where are you going? And I was just like, I applied to U of H. U of H was like, nah, bro. Nah, ain't gonna happen. Ain't looking like that. So, but luckily I got into U of H downtown. Shout out Gators. Shout out to the Gators. People like, UHC has a mascot. But you know, that's just one of those things is even if you don't know where you're going, I didn't know what I wanted to do because I really didn't have a sense of purpose.
Mm.
If I would have known what I know now, I would have went to school for education. I would have got a minor in marketing. That's all I would have needed, right? Instead of going around the huge circle. But you know, I just hope you come back next week. I hope you really enjoy it. Even if you don't, you have a foundation of what to do. You can be the Daniel Hill of your friends. You didn't see him. You can be the evangelist, the one who goes out. This is what y'all got to do. You got to look at the vision. Got to look at the vision, the values. What's their value statement? Like what? Talk about values. Man, look about values. I'm trying to see who's gonna give me scholarships. But you know that's just the power of what we do at LYS. So I'm just so glad you got a chance to see you again.
Yeah, for sure. You guys are an amazing resource. And I appreciate the fact that y'all like genuinely want to see me and other people that are youth right now when like that's so big. Because a lot of systems in place and there's a lot of things. So I appreciate you highly.
Oh, for sure. Festus won't say anything, but hey, I left teaching for it. I left teaching because when you understand purpose, even we got Crawford here. We used to teach together, and when you understand the power of influence, I'm gonna talk a little about Crawford now. I'll say a little bit about myself. Crawford wants to teach teachers how to become great teachers. Mm. Right? Because every year you're in a classroom, you have the ability to affect 20 to 30 lives and then affect the way they affect other people. But just imagine if you're teaching the teachers how to teach well, right? So now you're teaching 50 to 100 teachers who are each teaching 20 to 30 kids. You understand how, it's like, this is your mom, your dad, they have 2 grand, the exponential impact that you have. And so when you really understand purpose, it hits a little different when you do these things. Excuse my French. But yeah. Just so glad you came on. So glad you came on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Crawford, do you want to throw anything on? Because believe it or not, Moine, Crawford actually teaches first gen students at 2 local colleges. Yeah. So his input will be valuable too.
I think you guys basically cover everything. I have nothing to add to it. So y'all went so in depth. I'm like, oh, okay. Nah, but you guys covered everything though. I just hope that she take this information and continue to come back and visit to get more information so that she can make her informed decision that will benefit, her needs and goals.
Now, and
don't be afraid to overuse these people here. They love it. Come
really
back and use them.
I mean, look, we it's so funny. There's this thing about A-Leaf. I sent the superintendent an email when he first came, and I that's exactly what I said. I said I can't put my finger on it, but there's just something very, very unique about A-Leaf when you come and you're able to, in any capacity, as a student, as a teacher, as a parent, as a admin staff, that just you just naturally gravitate back to it. And this is the first place that we really want to make an impact because we know the power of what we're doing. So I guess the key thing for us is, Moyni, if you can, tell your friends who are looking for a resource. I'm out here in the streets. I am the LYS street team.
Not the streets.
I'm the street team. So Mondays and Fridays, we're trying to go out there. If you have a grad center at the school, let them know, hey, Olay from LYS, just look up Laddering Your Success. He can come and talk to us about, any and everything. They graduated from A-Leaf. They want to give back. So this is how it starts. So I mean, don't think of yourself as don't lessen your true power.
Right.
Right. Don't give yourself that small-minded, always have that confidence that you can make huge impact. And even when you don't think you are, you really are. Right.
Yeah, we do have a career center as well as like the AVID program. I don't know if y'all are familiar with AVID.
Oh yeah. I remember AVID.
Yeah, so if y'all could come talk to us, but of course I got to get permission from the big dog first, our principal.
For sure. I love that, the big dog. I love it. She got it, man. She's got it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Moyni. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. Y'all giving me the keys.
For sure. For sure. Thank you to Franklin, brother. We love you. Thank you so much for coming on and giving us that wonderful update. I'm gonna try not to cry because I'm just so happy to see the fruition of everything that happened. And I had to look up the first email. It was almost a month ago. So it's almost a year ago that he was on all that happened, man. So I'm just so happy. Every time these things happen, it's like we're on the right track. You just gotta keep going. We talked about the ups and downs, right? So thank y'all. Thank you, Moyni. The future doctor, thank you so much. Jamark, Professor Samoye, I am Olay Shorunke. Oh, Professor, do you want to go in?
Do I want to what?
Did you want to
yeah. Just real quick. For clarity's sake, we're not against not leaving Houston. Go ahead. I think you made that point pretty clear. We're just about like when you leave, make sure you succeed at what you're doing, right? Because so often the story is like we leave and then we come back and next, we depressed and and so the big thing is we want to resource you well so that when you go out there, you could succeed and come back with a story of success, hence the name Laddering Your Success, right? It's your success journey. And so I did put our website and YouTube in the chat so that you can, again, hit the subscribe button. That helps us out, right? And then you can share that with other people.
Absolutely.
So yeah, other than that, that's it for me.
For sure. It reminded me of actually one of the key principles in the book. I think it's key principle number 2. For one of the first 3, it's be a friend so you can make friends. And that's what I thought of when he said that. When you go out there and you're in a place that you're not familiar with, if you take all the qualities and values that you like in friends and you be that to other people, you'd be surprised. That's the relationships portion between the being and the doing, the being and the knowing. Sorry, that's the relationships portion right there. Be a friend and make friends. So for all of us, thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Edge Your Steps. Be sure to like and subscribe this. Where's the button? This is a 4-way Zoom call. Hit the subscribe button, please. Hit the like button. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see y'all next week. Y'all stay blessed now. Bye.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
All right.